Happiness. It's the key to a good life, right? But can you define it? Do you know how to achieve it? Happiness, paradoxically, is not something to strive for directly. It's something that is nurtured. Ask 10 people what happiness means, and you'll get 10 different answers. Philosophers call it a purpose. Psychologists call it subjective well-being. Biologists call it brain chemistry. No single definition has ever stuck. And maybe that's the point. Happiness looks different depending on where you stand and life's circumstances. Aristotle once said, "Happiness depends on ourselves." I've seen that in my own life. When my mindset trapped me, my environment only reinforced it, and my actions followed. Centuries later, Abraham Lincoln echoed the same truth. Most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And even today, that same idea endures. As Bruce Lee put it, the more we value things, the less we value ourselves. These perspectives highlight something important. Happiness isn't just something that happens to us. It's a central purpose of life, a goal in and of itself. But where does happiness really come from? Well, most thinkers would agree it has 3 main sources. 1. The internal, our mindset, beliefs, and outlook on life. 2. The external, our environment, circumstances, and the people around us. 3. And our actions, the choices we make and the things we do each day. When you put these 3 together, the internal and external factors combined with our actions, you start to see the full picture of what shapes our happiness. Modern psychology defines happiness as subjective well-being, boiling down to the balance of emotions and life satisfaction. Is your day-to-day leaning towards joy, calm, contentment, or stress and frustration? Zooming out, how do we evaluate your bigger picture? The relationships, work, and hobbies, and whether your life feels meaningful. However, psychology can only take us so far. People are often poor at predicting or analyzing what truly makes them happy. We think, if I just had more money, a bigger house, or total freedom, then I'd finally be happy. And sure, those things can give a boost, but only for a while. This is the hedonic treadmill. Every new achievement, a raise, a new car, or a big life milestone gives us a rush. Similar to happiness, but it fades quickly, returning us right where we started. Can surveys and observational research measure happiness? Maybe. But maybe there's a deeper, more fundamental layer. The body. The other day, my wife and I, we decided to stare deep into each other's eyes. We could do whatever we wanted, but we had to stare for 10 minutes. At first, I saw the bills, the kids running around, the fucking endless chores and errands. But we settled in, and I started to really see her. The visions of our past were coated in euphoric passion. All the fights, the endless nights, the eagerness and respect we had for each other. The moments danced in the little black ball between her gorgeous, pearl green corneas. We both smiled together, and then I laughed at the absurdity of the moment. The ancient Greeks were actually some of the first to suggest a deep link between the mind and the body. And today, modern research is starting to map that connection, showing us the physiological effects of happiness. Our mind is made up of chemicals and synaptic switches. Different parts of the brain serve certain functions. Some are correlated with different types of mood, like dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for love, endorphins for euphoria. But here's the thing. It's not as simple as flipping one switch. These seemingly infinite interactions in your brain are too complex for neuroscience to isolate. Happiness isn't a single dial. It's a symphony. What's more important is the feeling of happiness. Happiness is the subjective feeling we get in our bodies. Those times when you're so absorbed in what you're doing, you forget yourself completely. Whether you're running, painting, playing music, or even having a deep conversation. The flow collapses the gap between thought and action. Those moments of lightness, flow, rhythm. That's your body and mind finally aligned. Think about it this way. Your body is always rooted in the present, reacting to what's happening right now. But your mind, it loves to wander, constantly projecting into the future or replaying the past. Happiness often depends on whether we can align the two, pulling thought back into the body's present moment. Epictetus put it best. We suffer not from events, but from our judgments about them. How we react to the past and the future determines how we feel in the moment, our actions, and ultimately fulfills a prophecy of sorts. Going back to the story, my wife's eyes. It's absurd, really. It's just eyes. And yet it felt like the center of the universe, where meaning both begins and ends. Happiness isn't the right word. I don't think the English language can foster a word for it. And maybe that's the point. Some moments shouldn't be labeled. They're meant to be lived. And when words fall silent, it's those moments, those little capsules of time that last beyond everything else. It's easy to think that if you're not happy, it's your fault, especially in Western cultures that frame happiness as a personal responsibility. Your mental picture of happiness doesn't happen in a vacuum. Culture and society play a large role. In collectivist cultures, happiness often means harmony and contentment. In individualist cultures, it's linked to excitement and joy. Neither is right nor wrong. But recognizing this helps you reshape your own mindset. The people who feel most satisfied with their jobs, relationships, and hobbies have these three things in common. 1. Challenge that matches skill. Their work or hobbies aren't too easy, or they'd be bored, and they're not too hard, or they'd be overwhelmed. The sweet spot is effortful growth. Think of a musician learning a harder piece, or a coder tackling a problem just beyond their current ability. The most engaging work is that which keeps you engaged, not slouched over, not going through the motions. 2. Meaning. The work has to matter. It could be helping a friend, building something useful, or contributing to a larger cause. Without purpose, engagement fades. Cooking dinner. It's just food, until you realize you're nourishing someone you love. Filing reports. Boring. Unless you know it helps the team hit a goal. Purpose flips the switch. 3. Autonomy. Not do whatever you want, but the ability to make meaningful decisions within a framework. To experiment, to suggest, to shape your environment. At work, it might mean suggesting an idea and actually seeing it used. In school, picking your own project topic instead of being assigned one. Even in small stuff, like choosing your workout playlist instead of being stuck with whatever's playing. Together, these three factors create conditions where happiness naturally emerges. But what can you do today to cultivate a happier life? First, practice gratitude. People who express tangible gratitude, whether through letters, texts, or journaling, are happier and more satisfied within their life. Think of one person who you are grateful for in your life. Write them a letter, expressing how grateful and why. You don't have to give it to them if you don't want to. Just write. Second, invest in relationships. The greatest predictor of a good life are strong, healthy relationships. Not money, not fame. Connection. If you don't have plans this weekend, text an old friend or a family member. Say hi to someone you see frequently that you don't talk to. Lastly, pursue purpose over pleasure. Pleasure is like sugar, sweet but gone in seconds. Buying a new gadget, binging a show, scrolling for hours. It feels good, but it fades fast. Purpose, on the other hand, sticks. Training for a marathon, raising a child, building a business. None of it is easy, but that's exactly why it feels fulfilling. Purpose gives happiness weight. It's the difference between a sugar rush and a solid meal. So here's the takeaway. Happiness isn't something you chase. It's something you create. By aligning your mind and body, finding meaning in what you do, and shaping the conditions where joy can grow. Marcus Aurelius put it best. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. And remember, pleasure fades fast. Purpose, relationships, and growth. That's what sticks. So work hard to cultivate the building blocks of happiness, not happiness itself. Otherwise, you'll forever be on a treadmill, making no progress forward. Hit subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.